Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look in the markets so we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do this live stream around 11 to 12 a.m. BST time every single weekday. So before we get into today's video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Taking a look at the price of Bitcoin this morning on the Crypto Saving Expert website, we can see that Bitcoin is up to $28,582, up just below 0.8% in the last 24 hours, and Ethereum is set nicely at that $1,800 level. So we have some price analysis to do at the end of today's video after we've run through the latest cryptocurrency news, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But first, let's take a look at what's been happening in the world of crypto. Well, actually in the world of traditional markets, first of all, we have here the Biden administration seeks to introduce new banking rules. So following the 2008 financial crisis, all of the governments tried to make regulations to help the banking system and to stop contagion when things go wrong. Now, these regulations haven't actually been tested in real life scenarios yet because the banking industry has been doing fairly well since then. But now, we've come to this point in time where SVB has been shut down. We've seen Signature and we've seen a couple of other banks be affected by this, and we are still seeing contagion within the banking industry. So from that, they are looking at how they can implement extra measures on banks following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and its domino effects. They're looking back at these regulations and seeing how they can fix it. The disabled machine just said my hair is messy. Unbelievable. Let's take a look at the next article here and see what's happening. We'll see how these regulations develop. We could take a quick look at the content of this article first, actually. So we reported the events unfolding regarding the banks and others such as First Republic Bank and Credit Suisse. We've done lots of articles about the banks in recent weeks, and now we are looking for new rules that will apply to mid-sized banks with between $100 billion and $250 billion that were deregulated by Congress and the Fed during the Trump administration. These banks will have to once again comply with stricter measures removed from them in 2018, which initially came into play after the financial crisis to stop the banking system from crumbling. So they're looking to tighten those regulations once again. Let's take a look at the next article here, though. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest and best cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look at how many likes we're on today's stream. First of all, we are on a mission to get to 2,800 subscribers by the end of this week, and we've only got today and tomorrow to go. We're on 8 likes so far on today's stream, and we have 2,791 subscribers, so just 9 to go to hit that target. We've also, if you haven't already, make sure to check out our YouTube shorts as well. From yesterday, we've started uploading some shorts, and they are pretty informative as well, so make sure to check us out there. And we are also uploading those to TikTok and to Instagram Reels if they are your preferred platforms. Reaching into different audiences to grow Crypto Saving Experts as big as possible and educate as many people as possible about the cryptocurrency industry completely for free. We have free news, guides, courses, and market data, all for free, so make sure to check out cryptosavingexpert.com. Now, I'll stop shilling the website to you and get on with today's news. Let's take a look at this article. We have SBF is using $10 million from Alameda he gifted his father to fund his legal expenses. So Sam Bankman-Fried gifted his father millions of dollars from Alameda Research while still CEO of FTX, and the funds are now being used to fund his expensive legal defense. So taking a look in this article, we can see here that SBF initially received $10 billion from Alameda, which he then sent to his father using his lifetime estate and gift tax exemption. So essentially, this could be a tax-free gift, and this is the maximum amount that can be a tax-free gift in somebody's lifetime. So he's taken advantage of that opportunity, we can see clearly, and the Forbes report, citing 2 people familiar with the matter, added that this money is now being used to cater for Sam's expensive legal defense. And the sources further stated that SBF's legal expenses are likely to running into the single-digit million range. So legal expenses are stacking up for SBF as he continues to plead not guilty for about 8 different charges we have right now: conspiracy of wire fraud, actual wire fraud, conspiracy of something else, the actual thing. The list goes on and on and on. But this will continue to play out over the next couple of months. I believe its court case is in October, or was originally the start of October, the 2nd or 3rd, and then it got pushed back slightly. But we will see this news unravel as time goes on. Hopefully SBF will get the repercussions that he deserves. This is a mixed ground here. Another mixed ground, which we should talk about because we haven't talked about it for a while, is that the new CEO of FTX said that he would rule out relaunching the cryptocurrency exchange. Now, this has divided people in our live chat before, because would you use FTX again if it's under new management? The problem with FTX wasn't with the actual platform and its fundamentals. It was with the people running it. But now these people have been replaced, FTX could stand a chance at still being a pretty good platform. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the chat, because a lot of people say they would never ever use it. With all the foundations already there, it could be a great way if now the management has changed. If they were to rebrand the exchange, it could perform as an exchange once again. Something we could see in the future. So just keep an eye out for that. It could be a very interesting scenario. And I'm sure over time people may move on from this scenario and understand that it's just different management. It's just the same pieces of code, essentially. Let's take a look at the next article here and see what's going on in the world of F1. We can see here, crypto returns to F1 with Kraken partnering with Williams Racing. And this article reminded me of this. So, as Crypto Saving Expert is a sponsor of Richard Verschoor, an F2 driver, you can see our logo on the tracks this year. As with last year, let's pull this up. You can see our logos bright here and here, and it's looking pretty good. It goes in with the colour scheme pretty nicely. So make sure to keep an eye out for us over on the F2 as well. Very exciting. JB says, stack as much Bitcoin as you can and hold it as long as you can. All currencies going to zero against Bitcoin. Yeah, interesting opinions. I am stacking my Bitcoin as much as possible. I assume JB means here that we are going to see hyperinflation for many of the fiat currencies. Something that has been a fear for many people over the last couple of weeks. I'm starting. We'll go into that later in today's video. Let's take a look at this article here. Let's take Lee's commented on the FTX situation. He says he doesn't care. SBF founded it. That's enough for me to avoid it. Fair enough. And I think a lot of people will have that opinion. SBF has been involved with it, and these malicious actors have been involved with it at the top for a very long time. Now, I believe with new management, they will do so much auditing of everything to make sure everything is in order, because the new CEO doesn't want to step in and cause the same problems again. He doesn't want to ruin his reputation on purpose. He wants to make sure everything is exactly as it should be, but you never really know. And Lee is doing this as a stance against Sam Bankman-Fried, but maybe users that are new to the cryptocurrency space that see this exchange won't put the dots together and start to use it if it is ran as a cryptocurrency exchange once again, and just see it the same as every other exchange. Interesting topics there. We'll see how that plays out. Taking a look at this next article here, we have the SEC charges Beaksy.com with operating an unregistered exchange, broker and clearing agency. So the exchange has had to close its doors. So in a press release from the SEC on Friday, the department announced the SEC today charged the crypto asset trading platform, the Beaksy platform, its executives for failing to register as a national securities exchange, broker and clearing agency. So the SEC had actually already given them a Wells notice to Coinbase and charged Tron founder Justin Sun for securities law violations. The SEC and its chairman Gary Gensler have been taking action on cryptocurrencies for several years with the infamous Ripple Labs lawsuit. Talking about that, the price of Ripple has absolutely soared. Give me your dates. When do you think we're going to hear the end of this lawsuit? So this lawsuit began in December 2020. It's been going on for 2 years now. The price of XRP has absolutely soared. Gary Gensler is now getting questions on how he is regulating the cryptocurrency space. He's also wanting to get help on board to regulate the cryptocurrency space in the correct way. But the Ripple Labs situation looks like it's about to come to an end, and Ripple investors are taking the opportunity and running with it. So let's take a look at XRP. I would also like to point out that The price of XRP and the market cap of XRP has held incredibly well over the last 2 years. To say it's still the 6th biggest cryptocurrency in terms of market cap after a 2-year lawsuit with the SEC is absolutely incredible. There was so much fear in the markets, but the XRP army is one of the strongest altcoin armies that I can see. Let's take a look at this in the last couple of days. It's absolutely soared up to 54 cents. If we take a look at what it was trading at just on like the 20th of March, we can see that down here it was at 37 cents. So it's seen a huge move to the upside, and something I'm definitely keeping my eyes on in the coming weeks to see what's to come. The end of this lawsuit, I hope, will be in Ripple's favor, and we could see some very nice positive things for the entire cryptocurrency industry, because this lawsuit does set a precedent for the rest of the industry as well. So something definitely to keep an eye on, whether you are an XRP fan or not. Let's take a look at this article anyway. Let's see where we are up to. This exchange has unfortunately been shut down by the SEC. As we always discuss, the SEC is targeting different cryptocurrency companies out there, saying that they're offering unregistered securities, but it's just stuff we've got to keep an eye on, and we have to try and help the US regulators regulate cryptocurrency in the correct way, which is why I'm a huge fan of Coinbase's new campaign, Crypto 435, where they are campaigning to try and get cryptocurrency users' voices heard by those regulators when they're trying to regulate the space. A huge problem right now is that it's not clear on whether cryptocurrencies are commodities or securities. This is determined by the Howey test that was created in the 1940s. This test it doesn't just fit onto cryptocurrencies, it's a little bit more complex than that, and bias can actually be involved in this test. Some people think that an asset is a security and some people think that it's a commodity by using the same test, because it's unclear. So we want to get clarity on the regulations in the US, and while they create that clarity, while they look at the regulations and how they can regulate the space, we want to have cryptocurrency users' inputs. We don't want the governments to just decide this on their own without having our inputs. So that's really important, and something that Coinbase is campaigning towards to help the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. So I am a huge fan of Coinbase for that campaign, and I hope that other cryptocurrency exchanges and big players in the game do also step up with campaigns similar to help us get clarity on regulation within the US and help those regulations be put in place in a way that allow the industry to continue to grow and move forwards. Let's take a look at this next article here. So we have a crypto hacking group run by just a 19-year-old, and the police have arrested members of this group because they've been allegedly exploiting different smart contracts. So let's take a look at this. They fraudulently obtained hundreds of thousands in digital currency loans from a crypto exchange, Buenbit. Let's take a look at this. The exchange is based in Argentina with operations in other Latin American nations, including Mexico and Peru. Buenbit started offering crypto loans barely 9 months ago, which allowed users to borrow up to 1 million in Argentine peso-backed stablecoins, NUARS, provided they supply 80% of the requested amount in DAI stablecoins as collateral. So the police said the gangs used bots to mass produce fabricated loan applications using only a particular virtual wallet as a guarantee. In doing so, they reportedly took up to $800,000 from the exchange. Now, we do speak about this a lot here on the channel. We can see that there are exploits that are being taken advantage of within smart contracts, bugs that are being taken advantage of within smart contracts. And that is happening over and over again. This isn't uncommon, unfortunately, within the cryptocurrency space, but these are new coding languages. Cryptocurrency is still a fairly new industry, and we're trying to learn the best practices. We continue to build and develop, and when we see hackers managing to exploit a bug, we then work on that so that we don't see that same bug once again, and continue to build the space up and up and up. Nothing is perfect first time around. We just need to try and make this a better place, and with these hackers we can spot these exploitations and build on those technologies. But hopefully these users get their funds back. Usually when a cryptocurrency hack takes place, we do see a bounty, and then the hacker will return a certain percentage of their hacked funds, hopefully on the condition that they won't receive any charges. Let's take a look here in the chat. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's see what's going on. JB said, use alts to gain yourself more Bitcoin. Next bull market will be massive. Fingers crossed, JB. I'm looking forward to the next bull market. Hopefully it will be something good. I am expecting it to start. I mean, we've been looking at the markets for a while now, and we've been seeing that Bitcoin's halving is predicted to be in April 2024. So we are about to hit the point at which we're 1 year before the Bitcoin halving. And typically in that year on the run up to the Bitcoin halving, it's not a bad year for Bitcoin, and it's certainly not a bad year for altcoins. In different categories within these in the altcoin market can perform incredibly well, just like we've just seen with AI tokens completely going to the moon. Some things like that will be similar. So spotting the next category of altcoins is really important and something I'm investigating greatly. Let's take a look at the next article now and see what's going on. Before we do, I almost forgot, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Taking a look at the YouTube channel right now, we currently have 12 likes on today's stream. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button and pressing subscribe so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. And we do not want to miss out on what is going to happen in the cryptocurrency markets in the coming weeks. Let's take a look at this next article here. Also, please let me know how the quality of today's stream is. I would like to know that. I forgot to zoom into the text for you, so it might be clearer now. But please let me know if it's all running smoothly. I had a comment yesterday, someone saying it was in 720p, so I want to check on that and make sure that that's not the case. Let's take a look at this article now anyway. We have Circle aspires to back USDC with fiat held in the US Federal Reserve. So I'm sure a lot of you know, USDC did depeg from the dollar when SVB were liquidating their assets, and this is because Circle announced that they held reserves in SVB. Now, this wasn't a long-term problem. It has repegged from the dollar since then because the US government said they would back any deposits into SVB and a couple of other banks as well. Now, the issue here isn't with cryptocurrency. It's that their reserves were, for a portion of time, it was concerned that their reserves had been lost. But that is not the case. So it has repegged to the dollar. It's not a concern for cryptocurrency, more a concern for the banking system that's had an effect on this cryptocurrency token. But we can see here that Circle are trying to come back from this fault and work on this fault so that a similar thing doesn't happen again. And the company has now expressed desire to hold the USD reserves used to back its stablecoin USDC in the US Federal Reserve Bank. So taking a look here, approximately 80% of USDC reserves are kept in short-dated US treasuries, and 20% are in cash reserves held by US banks recognized as global systematically important financial institutions. The blog post follows the recent depegging of USDC when the stablecoin fell to around 87 cents. So we've just covered that, so we'll move on to the next bit. The stablecoin has since regained its peg and held strong. Now let's take what's here. Circle keen to show stability, with several other banking firms also struggling in the current environment of high inflation, zero reserve banking, and the under-regulation of banking practices. Circle is keen to assure customers of the stability of their current reserves. Fox Geen explains that following multiple recent bank failures, Circle has taken steps to reduce risk from the banking system by now holding substantially all of the cash portion of the reserves at one of the world's 30 global systematically important banks, also known as GSIBs. And these are widely recognized as the safest banks with the highest capital, liquidity, and supervisory requirements in the world. So that is what we are seeing there. They're trying to improve on their problems. This is what is really important within the cryptocurrency space. As I said, we are still a new industry trying to work through these faults. But when we see a fault and we action on it quickly, that's a cryptocurrency project that we can rely on. Let's take a look here. I'm sure we have another article over here of what's been going on with USDT. Let's see if we can find it. I was just reading about this in the news over on another brilliant cryptocurrency news website, Crypto Slate. The competition, but nice competition. And we can see somewhere that USDT's token has actually reached 60% of the stablecoin market share. If we take a look at USDT market cap, we can see that has had a rise over the last couple of months and continues to rise significantly. This is the percentage of market dominance of USDT compared to other stablecoins. We've seen users flood their stablecoin assets into USDT over BUSD and USDC, following USDC's depeg and following Paxos being ordered to stop minting BUSD tokens. So people are flooding into USDT, which is funny because USDT has received a huge amount of FUD over the years about how transparent they are with their reserves, but now people are looking at USDT as a safe haven. Now USDT has taken a huge amount of what's the word? Slack. They haven't been given any slack. That's the word. They have taken so many hits on people saying that it's not a good stablecoin, but overall the price of USDT just holds on no matter what. If we take a look at the price of USDT on the, let's go on, I don't know how far back this time frame goes. This is only going to earlier this year, but you can see here the price of USDT is stable. There was a huge influx in purchases of USDT following the USDC problems, but overall stabilized really, really quickly. So USDT has proven itself over time to be a reliable, stable peg. Not that the past means the exact same for the future, but it has been reliable over the time. So let's take a look at the next article here and see what is next. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look at this. Jason Smith said, conflicted who support at the weekend on Formula One, the CSE sponsored car or the local boy. The CSE sponsored car, 100%. It does look really, really nice for those that have just joined. I'll show you the car. We sponsor an F2 car, Richard for sure, and you can see here we have our logo on the front of his car, very, very nicely up at the front. Goes in with the colour scheme very, very well, I think. Looks really, really nice. So make sure to support him if you are watching the F2 this year. Let's move on back to the news and see what's going on over here. Where did we get up to? We have Circle aspires to back USDC. Here we go. The SEC seeks $2.4 billion funding to combat issues in crypto. So the SEC of the United States is seeking an increased budget of $2.436 billion for FY 2024 to arm itself with enough resources to tackle emerging issues in cryptocurrency and the rest of the nation's $100 trillion capital markets. So taking a look at this, while testifying at the hearing held on Wednesday by the House Appropriations Committee, SEC Chair Gary Gensler remarked that the agency currently stretches thin the limited resources it has in pursuing order and enforcement actions across the markets, including cryptocurrency, which he said is rife with non-compliance. So Gary Gensler has been looking to hire more people to help move forward with regulations within the SEC, and hopefully the aim of this conversation was to set the foundation of how cryptocurrencies can be regulated in the future. We can see here, according to Gary Gensler, the growth and rapid changes in the markets means more possibility for wrongdoing, hence the need for the SEC to secure enough funding to meet the match of bad actors. Now, the SEC is expected to onboard 400 staff using funding secured from Congress, but the new funding request for 2024 will see the agency increase its staff by an additional 170 positions next year and provide full-time employment for the people it plans to hire in 2023. So the SEC chairman did reiterate that the cryptocurrency market is a wild west. He said, where investors have put hard-earned assets at risk in a highly speculative asset class, and when asked if the agency has any plans to issue a rule to clarify how security laws apply to digital assets, Gensler said such regulations already exist. Interesting comments here. This implies that he's not going to clarify this anymore, and we're not going to see clarity within the cryptocurrency regulation framework for a longer period of time. As expected, not having clarity on whether something is needs to be regulated in a certain way or another is a major problem for cryptocurrency and for cryptocurrency companies. We are seeing this over and over again, and as a community, the cryptocurrency industry have been crying out for clarity on regulation, but they just don't seem to provide it. And from this response, it seems that Keith's not planning to provide it in the near future as well. But as I said, it will be very interesting to see the outcome of the XRP Ripple lawsuit that has been ongoing since December 2020, over 2 years. So it could set a nice foundation for the future of cryptocurrency. My side has just said that the connection's just cut out. Let me know if that is the case, or let me know if it's running smoothly. Concerning that, let me know how it's gone. It doesn't usually drop out like that. Maybe I need to connect while it's not looking good from my end. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, as users will experience problems. What a pain. I'll work on that. It's because I've moved further away from the Wi-Fi. We'll work on that before Monday's stream. Let's take a look at the end of the next article we have, and then we've got a little bit more news stories to come your way, and then we've got a little bit of positivity about the Bitcoin price, and we have some Bitcoin analysis as well. So taking a look here, India generated over $19 million from crypto taxes in the last 12 months. So here we can see the Indian government has amassed $19 million in taxes from cryptocurrency trading and direct transfers in the financial year between 2022 and 2023. So interesting one there. They have an unfavorable crypto taxation regime. So they generated taxes from local crypto traders. The domestic industry has recorded massive losses since the implementation of the tax policy. So we reported earlier this year that the tax structure caused Indian crypto exchanges to lose billions in their trading volumes collectively. And by October, their trading volumes had plunged to $137.6 million from $4.73 billion at the beginning of the year. So that is a huge drop for people interested in cryptocurrencies in India from their increase in taxes. But it's interesting to see that the governments are benefiting from crypto in some way, and maybe other countries will take this opinion that cryptocurrencies are good, and they can, if they want to tax us more, but they make it easier for us to become for cryptocurrency companies to survive, I'd take that. Let's take a look at the next one here. We have OKX to return $157 million in frozen assets to FTX debtors. So this is in the hopes that some of those funds will be sent back to those FTX users. And we can see here that it's in the hopes that these assets will eventually be returned to FTX users through the bankruptcy process. So hopefully this plays out. In the days surrounding FTX's collapse in November 2022, OKX proactively initiated investigations to determine whether there had been any FTX-related transactions on its platform, and the exchange said OKX immediately took action to freeze the associated accounts and safeguard the assets. They have done so, and now they are returning those funds to the FTX debtors in the hopes that this could have a more positive outcome than what we are seeing right now. Taking a look at the next article we have here, we have Bitcoin marks fresh yearly high, surpassing $29,000. That is exactly the kind of news we wanted to hear this morning on today's live. We also have an article saying this is why $30,000 is such an important level for Bitcoin. So we will be discussing this in today's analysis, but let's run through this article. So we can see here that the $30,000 level, where are we? The reverse is also, when we've traded below $30,000, Bitcoin has typically been performing bearishly. And when we've traded above $30,000, we have been in a bull market. So as we get closer to $30,000, it will be very interesting to see how the price reacts to this level. Will Bitcoin be rejected and trade sideways? Or will Bitcoin break through and confirm the important level as support? So these are the scenarios we have here. First, Bitcoin breaks through $30,000 and then retests the level for support, resulting in a 100% move. Second, Bitcoin retreats to the $30,000 level for support, forms a triple bottom pattern, and then pumps 125%. That is the scenario we like. We have here Bitcoin retreats to $30,000 level once again, yet it fails to hold, which results in Bitcoin losing around 45% of its value. And finally, we have Bitcoin stands now for the first time since losing the $30,000 level. We are quickly approaching the important level for a potential test. So let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin here and see what we have. Jason says, should we take a look at the CME gap? Yes, we should. Let's take a look at that in just a second. I want to point out the levels of support and resistance I have on my charts here quickly. So we definitely have a level of support at $26,600, and we have used that here and here. We also have a level of support definitely at $26,900, previously used as a resistance as well. If you want to look any lower than this, we can go all the way down to $25,250, which was repeatedly used as a level of support resistance when we were down at those levels. Now, if we go even further out and we take a look at these time frames, you can see that we are approaching that point at which we have used it as a support for the entire bull market. So you can see here, if we get to this point here, we used the $30,000 level at this point. Let's get this right. At this point here, $29,800, that was used as a major level of support during that move to the downside in May, June, July of 2021. Now that was an awful time. I think this fall to the downside, this May to July fall, was a bigger negative effect on my portfolio than this fall to the bottom of the bear market. This was a huge drop very quickly, and a lot of the altcoins really struggled in that time. And to be honest, I was just too highly leveraged at this point in time. But bull market mentality got the better of me. But that $29,800 level is definitely a key point to keep an eye on. If we take a look back at the 4-hour chart, we have currently, if we get really close to this level here, you can see that we use this level as a resistance, the $28,600 level. And we've now broken through that. We've closed the 4-hour candle above that level. So what I have my fingers and toes crossed for right now is that we see us retest this level. If we hold this point for another 50 minutes, we see this red candle come down, and then we see a nice big green one. We've used that previous level of resistance as a support. Again, building on our foundations and making the price look healthier and healthier. So let's take a look here, and if that were to take place and we would continue to hold this level of support, $30,000 just doesn't seem too far away. Let's take a look at the CME gap here to see what's going on. For those of you that don't know, if you go to BTC one exclamation mark, we can see here we have the CME gaps. We currently have a CME gap down at $20,300, and we also have a CME gap up $35,000 as well. So there are what we are looking at. We also have another CME gap opening tomorrow, so we'll see how this plays out. I get really cautious about the CME gaps because they are there's a very high chance that on a Monday, Tuesday following a CME gap, we do close that gap. So weekend action to the upside does scare me a little bit because it means we're going to see a little bit of a drop, but it also means that it could create a nice buying opportunity as well. But we'll see how that plays out at the time. We will be reporting on that in these live streams on Friday, on Monday, and on Tuesday. So if you do enjoy these live streams and you want to hear more about those, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. And to finish today's video, let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index. So taking a look here, if it's going to load, what are we on? We are currently on 60. So the greed has risen slightly in the last couple of days. We were at a high of 68, so it has come down from last week, I think it was. When did we hit 68? Let's look at this chart. The 21st of March, so 9 days ago, greed was at a high for the month, but it has come down slightly. We're now sat at 60, heading towards that neutral zone, which is where I feel comfortable in. But we'll see what happens. And we'll keep you up to date here on the channel, hoping we do bounce that level of support, 28,580. Fingers crossed we do. That is all we have for today's stream. So thank you very much for tuning in once again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.